Hello and welcome to the video. Recently 12 of us went to a motorsport event called PalmerSport at Bedford Autodrome. I have to say, the best driving experience you're ever going to get. Put it on your list if you haven't done it. Day out's around 9 hours and you get to drive some seriously quick cars. Drive 8 vehicles in total around 7 different tracks, and a lot of the time you're being trained. The instructors, they're really pushing you, they're teaching you all the right lines, where to use your throttle, what gears to be in, things like that, and pushing you. Not like these track experiences where they're saying slow down, change up, and kind of spoiling your fun. These guys are trying to make you spin out, and really you do a lot. All of us spun all the vehicles all day, constantly. It was absolutely hilarious, but at the same time got some really quick laps in. It ends up being really competitive between the people that you go down there with, and you come away absolutely loving it and learning loads of new technique in all the different vehicles. Probably the hardest thing is obviously that all these cars are quite different in the way that they drive, so switching from car to car can be a little bit daunting, but you just kind of have to pull it together and deal with it the best you can and just have a lot of fun. So when you arrive, you get treated to breakfast and a safety briefing with an introductory video from Mr. Palmer showing you what cars you'll be driving and what circuits, things like that. Then after this you get on the shuttle bus and go to the first track, which in our case ended up being the West Circuit, jumping straight onto the GPLM Palmer prototype race cars. Now these cars are something else. It's a 2-seater, mid-engined, rear-wheel drive. It's powered by a 3-litre V6 and apparently 450 horsepower per tonne. 0 to 60 3.4 seconds, 170 mile an hour top speed, and just horrendously fast. The way these cars corner is unbelievable. It's like they're glued to the floor. In these you're basically learning the circuit, you're learning the racing lines, things like that. It's kind of a build-up ready for the F3000. F3000's done on the West Circuit again. I think it's the same 3-litre V6 engine, rear-wheel drive. This is very close to an F1 style car. 6-speed paddle shift gearbox again, a little bit quicker than the GPLM though, 3.1 to 60. Again 170 flat out, but obviously this is a single seater, so by this point if you don't know what you're doing you're kind of knackered. There's an onboard video that I'll show you at the end of the fastest lap that I managed to do, which you'll see that I've still got a bit of learning to do, but nonetheless it was an absolutely brilliant experience. You just find yourself getting quicker and quicker with these cars, right up until the point where the flag goes, and then you come back and seriously all you want to do is go back out in it and try even harder. But what an experience the F3000 was, absolutely crazy. Once you're all out of the F3000 and you've seen everyone else spin out and nearly kill themselves in these cars, you're back on the bus once you've calmed down a little bit and stopped shaking like everyone was. Then next you head over to the South Circuit, and the next car that we drove was the BMW M4 GTP. This apparently is the most powerful car they've got at Palmer, 510 horsepower. It's a bit of a weapon. 3-litre twin turbo, rear wheel drive, 0 to 60 3.9 seconds, and it's quick, it's really quick. This circuit's a lot tighter than the West Circuit, but this car really does it well. You can tell how much heavier this car is than the other cars just in the way that it turns into the corners and things like that. But the instructor's with you and he's telling you where to turn, how to turn, what gears to be in, things like that, helping you, telling you to go quicker, your braking zones. It's immense, it really is. This car, with it being a kind of a road car anyway, it's just insane that these cars can just be bought for the road, to be honest. Then after this event, again back on the shuttle, and the next thing we did this day was have lunch. We actually got treated to a nice steak. Everyone sits around, has a chat about what they've done so far, kind of ribs themselves for the mistakes they make, stuff like that. And then once you've had lunch you go back out, whichever track you are next, but in our case we were straight onto the Caterham PalmerSport edition. Now this car is the twitchiest thing I've ever driven in my entire life. every single person spun it at least 2 or 3 times. I think I spun it 5 times in total, especially straight after lunch. It's like a full body workout, this car. 200 horsepower, tiny little lightweight thing. It's nuts. All it wants to do is go sideways. It's a rear wheel drive, again paddle shift gearbox, round quite a tight circuit, and yeah, you really need to be awake to drive this car because it just wants to go backwards on you all the time, and most of us did. Having said that, when you do put in a good lap in it, it's very, very satisfying indeed. It's all day, you're just constantly watching everyone else go backwards and go across the grass and things like that, but yeah, when you put in a good lap time, you know you've put in a good lap time, and it feels great. Now our next event was over at the North Circuit, and this is probably my second favourite car of the day, and that's the Ginetta G56 GTA. These are actually built in England, full English race cars, so quite proud of what they've built with this one, because what a car it is. It's so well balanced. It's a perfect 50-50 weight distribution on this car. 3.7 V6 powered by Ford engine, apparently 1100 kilos, and it's just a bit of a masterpiece really. The way this car corners is just unreal. The balance of it's so perfect that you can just make the car rotate, slide out, do whatever you want, as long as you're brave enough, that is. And the lap times you can achieve it is just, yeah, it's good. It really is a good car. Frighteningly quick, and the brakes are nuts. But I think it was probably the car that you got out of with the biggest smile on your face other than the F3000, to be honest. It definitely was for me. Now you do need to bear in mind, but at this point we've been racing most of the day, so we're all absolutely knackered. So the next event we went to was a little bit of a blessing really. It was the Caterham Pursuit and the off-road course, and then when you get in the Caterham Pursuit, it's just all hell breaks loose. Once those lights go out, you're off. You're doing a full launch start, you get to the top of the straight, hairpin, then back down another hairpin, then another hairpin, and then basically you have to get to the donut area and get the back end out round 360 degrees, and then get between some cones and park in the fastest time that you can. And directly opposite, whoever you're against is doing the exact same thing in reverse, and it's a hell of a laugh. Extremely difficult, but what good fun it is. Kinda sad after your last event, because obviously then it's time to go home, or to the hotel as we did. Being from Leeds, obviously we didn't want to spend another 3 hours behind the car getting back home, so we checked into a hotel around the corner, and literally all of us just talked about it all night. In fact, we've been talking about it all week. It's that good. So I think now I'll show you the onboard lap of the F3000. You'll see what I mean. There's plenty of mistakes on it, things like that, but I will be going back and I will be improving on my time. Really, it doesn't matter though what times you get or anything like that. It's just all about being there and the experience. It is absolutely great. If you haven't done it, go and do it. That's all I'll say. You have to go and do it.